Also on all our social media platforms at TV3 Ghana, Live 2 on DSTV channel 279. In the bulletin this afternoon, 6,417 households in West Mamprusi Municipality receive 100% increase in bi-monthly LEAP cash grant. Also coming up, Central Intelligence Agency CIA head says the Ukraine war is having a corrosive effect on Vladimir Putin's leadership of Russia. You're welcome to the program. We have details of these stories plus a lot more in business, sport, entertainment coming up shortly if you stay with us. We're starting this afternoon with this. And 6,417 households in the West Mamprusi Municipality of the Northeast region have received a 100% increase in the bi-monthly cash grant for the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty program. The program aims to reduce poverty by promoting the human capital development of beneficiary households.
This year, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection in a press release hinted it will kickstart a 100% nationwide increment in grants under the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty program. The increment, according to the ministry, is as a result of the worsening global socio-economic crisis. Speaking at a short gathering to disburse the funds to beneficiaries in Gagboni, in the West Mamprusi Municipality, Gender Minister Hajia Lariba Zuwera Abudu stated that the disbursement has come at the right time to be used by beneficiaries for their farming activities.
The government has increased the LEAP payment. If you look at it, one eligible household was taking 64, and now they are going to take 128. And we are paying 2 cycles. So one is going home with 256. That tells you that government has increased LEAP. And I'm happy that this is their farming season. So a lot of them will use the money to start their farming activities. So, and the women, I advise them, if you were taking 64 and now you are taking 125, at least you can use half of the money to start something.
Municipal Chief Executive for the area, Isaku Armiya Osomo Laki Basantale, expressed gratitude to the government and the Gender Ministry for the increment.
It is time that we put our people first, and that is what we are doing now. What we are seeing today is just one of the aspects of the new policies that are coming to change lives of the people.
The LEAP program, now in its 83rd and 84th edition, provides bi-monthly cash grants to the poorest households in Ghana. Its goal is reducing poverty by supporting consumption and promoting the human capital development of beneficiary households.
Now, nurses and midwives from 4 health facilities have been trained to screen newborns with hearing problems before discharge, aiming to reduce the late reporting of hearing loss cases in the country. The project is in partnership with MedEL, Australia's leading hearing aid implant provider, and Path Medical.
The 2021 Population and Housing Census shows that 470,737 people in Ghana have some degree of hearing loss, with over 19,000 not hearing at all. Experts believe the number could be higher due to silent nature and stigma. The Kolebu Teaching Hospital's newborn hearing screening project aims to address this issue, aiming to screen all newborn babies before discharge.
A significant number of children are born with hearing problems, and these problems, when picked up early, they can be treated, they can be diagnosed, treated, or given the necessary support. So every child that is born must be screened, and this screening doesn't cost so much. At least if an experienced person does the initial screening and picks that up, maybe this time we have a problem, then they can be referred to the appropriate persons so that this problem is detected and then appropriate treatment can be given.
Stakeholders demand increased collaboration from decision makers for project success.
We have today initiated with the Kolebu Teaching Hospital as the main lead institution the first newborn hearing screening pilot program in Ghana. And why is it so important? Because hearing loss is an invisible disability. So as an external person, you would not recognize that there is a problem.
The project is being undertaken in partnership with MedL, a leading Austrian provider of hearing implant systems, and Path Medical.
Still on the health of newborn babies, and about 18,000 babies are born in Ghana every year with sickle cell disease. Although there's a cure with gene therapy and bone marrow transplant, Ghanaians have been urged to take genetic counseling seriously to know their sickle cell status to prevent its spread.
Meet Tishe and his family. Tishe used to have sickle cell disease, but he's now cured of the disease.
How was school? Great.
He underwent a bone marrow transplant right here in Ghana at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital from Nigeria. His sister donated her cells for the treatment.
How do you feel now after the transplant? It's been what, 4 years after?
And that I don't have to go to the hospital every day. And I don't have to shower in the hospital. Or when I do oxygen drip inside on my blood.
I mean, you play ball now, yeah?
Yes.
You swim now?
Yes.
So it's a breath of fresh air, yeah?
Yes.
Life after BMT is definitely sweet. I don't need to the hospital. You can do all the things you couldn't do before.
It feels good that she's back home.
Sickle cell disease is a genetic disorder. And so the way to cure it is to correct that mutation, right? And gene therapy can allow us to do that. The good news is that now we know there are technologies that will allow for that to happen. The bad news is that it's very expensive. The really good news is those who are developing these therapeutics recognize the importance of access to gene therapy. And so they are reaching out to work with partners in Africa to prepare the grounds for gene therapy to be available when it becomes practical.
But not many can afford this kind of treatment. At the Akuse Government Hospital in the Eastern Region, a young boy having a sickle cell pain crisis is brought in. Unfortunately, his veins cannot be seen to administer drugs to give him instant relief. Another student is also experiencing a pain crisis and needs urgent relief. Health professionals want Ghanaians to take genetic counseling seriously to make informed choices in relation to marriage.
Knowing your status. And so it is that last component of this global theme that really puts responsibility on individuals to know their sickle cell status with respect to marriage, as well as with respect to even the health of their children. And in those two instances, having a professional who has the competencies to counsel someone because of their sickle status is important.
Stem cell or bone marrow treatment and most recently gene therapy are the only cure for sickle cell disease. The spotlight must be put on sickle cell disease to help improve the quality of life of those living with it.
To some other stories this afternoon, I never imagined that the Speaker of Ghana's Parliament was a footballer. Well, he undoubtedly is an astute lawyer with years of parliamentary and political experience and wisdom. But the truth is, he is also a football fanatic. But his skill on the football pitch could be a hidden one that you may want to know in the following report filed by Evelyn Tengma.
His style of playing is first to protect the ball. So you go down, so that any player coming can't get access to the ball. Then you position yourself in such a way that you can meander through the players. So you adjust your legs so that in the dribbling you can go. You see, I was a player, so and scoring goals is not about, hard hit. It's about placement. And you could see that in Asamoah Gyan.
That was Speaker Alban Bagbin for you. Well, Per his description, could he have been a winger, defender, midfielder or a striker? But one thing is certain, he is a football fanatic and a supporter of the Black Stars.
Dede was also with me during the time that we had problems about their performance, and he is captain. The committee wanted him. There were some reasons, and I had to call him, and I spoke to the father, and they said he came down and made the committee. After that, he came to my office. We had a chat, and we took pictures and that kind of thing. We are very much interested in the game. And I told them that you don't know your actions and inactions, people die out of it. It's not easy. So these days, before I watch you people, I eat.
And who is his treasured coach?
I became Chelsea because of Essien. And my most treasured coach, Mourinho. He's the best so far in the world. And no coach has beaten his record. They are still trying, but they have not beaten his record. I'm still strong.
Passionate as he may be for the sport, he wants the country to invest in local coaches.
We need to grow our own. I don't agree to the country always looking outside for coaches. Let's invest in our own. You know, you can't lead somebody if you don't know the person. Nobody knows us better than ourselves. Even when you are coaching, you need to know the players. And so when you go and bring somebody from Azerbaijan to come and coach a Ghanaian, there's difficulty. The person could be as good as anything, but there's a missing link.
The speaker also wants a succession plan put in place for players, as football now earns more than gold. Evelyn Tinkma, TV3 News, Accra.
Well, the lighter side of the Speaker, Alban Gbagben there. Now, the conversation about the Asen North by-election and its aftermath just won't go away. Well, the former MP, James Gyakye Quayson, secured another victory after beating Charles Opoku on the NPP on June 27. The Following News Desk report highlights the election and issues regarding the legal battle the MP-elect James Gyakye Quayson is facing.
After intense campaigning from both the governing New Patriotic Party, NPP, and the main opposition National Democratic Congress, NDC, constituents in Asen North made their decision known on Tuesday, June 27. There were 29,962 valid votes out of the 30,418 votes cast, representing a 74.23% turnout. James Gyakye Quayson, who stood in the ticket of the NDC, won with 17,245 votes, representing 57.56% of the valid votes cast. His closest contender from the New Patriotic Party, Charles Opoku, came in second with 12,630 votes, representing 42.15%, while the Liberal Party of Ghana, LGP, candidate Sepenu Benis Enyonam got 87 votes, representing 0.29%. One thing that got people talking were comments made by President Akufo-Addo during his campaign rounds. During the final campaign in the Asen North constituency on Sunday, June 25, President Akufo-Addo, while addressing worshippers at the Church of Pentecost in Asen Akonfudi, said constituents of Asen North do not need a prison MP. Former President John Dramani Mahama responded, describing the president's comment as unfortunate.
The president is wrong if he said that, because he's prejudicing the case in court. He's not a prisoner, is he? He's not been convicted. You are innocent until proven guilty. He's not been proven guilty. And even justices of the court and professors of law have said that the Supreme Court erred in its judgment.
Speaking to journalists just before he was declared the winner of the Tuesday, June 27 by-election, James Gyakye Quayson said he was disappointed to hear the prison comment made by the president regarding his criminal trial in court.
I was a bit disappointed to hear that, and I know he's a lawyer, and the fundamental belief or value of legal system, you're innocent until proven guilty. So for him to say that, I think it's not a qualified statement. But again, the good people of our synod have demonstrated that they have conscience and they believe in me.
There have been varied reactions to the comment made by President Akufo-Addo. Speaking on the key points on Saturday, July 1, former Deputy Attorney General Joseph Dindiok Benka said President Akufo-Addo did not make a categorical statement that James Gyakye Quayson would go to prison.
When you are facing criminal prosecution, you have two outcomes. Either you are acquitted and discharged, or you are actually convicted. But that will be determined only by the court. Okay? So if you give a warning to the people that, look, if you elect this person, it is possible that he could be convicted. I mean, and in that case, then you are lending yourself to another by-election and etc. Why don't you go for a candidate who does not have that tag, so that you elect him, and then he can come and bring you the needed development through the government in power? That was the message.
For political historian and senior lecturer at the Department of Political Science at the University of Ghana, Professor Ransford Jampu, the comment could be seen as putting pressure on the judiciary.
As somebody who knows the Constitution like that, how come he didn't know that if a matter is sub judice, you don't make such comment? That why do you want to vote for somebody who is on his way to jail? Who told you? Who told the president that Gyakye Quayson is on his way to jail? Is he having a private conversation with the judges? Is he not unnecessarily putting pressure on the judges? Haven't we, as a nation, bastardized judicial independence enough?
In court on Thursday, June 29, James Gyakye Quayson's application to stay proceedings in his criminal trial was adjourned to July 4. Presiding Judge Mary Yanzu told lawyers for the Member of Parliament to properly serve the documents. Well, amid all this, private legal practitioner Kwame Jantua has some advice for the Attorney General and Minister for Justice Godfred Dame.
The perception is already there by the electorate in Asin North that he's being hounded. Gyakye Quayson is being hounded. You continue it and you push it, and it happens that Gyakye Quayson is put in prison. You think they'll forgive you? Remembering that there's an election coming up 2024. Put in a motion of nolle prosequi. They are not interested in the case anymore.
The court has adjourned the hearing of the criminal trial of James Gyakye Quayson to July 4. This is to allow his lawyers to move a motion for a stay of proceedings pending appeal at the Court of Appeal. Quayson is appealing a High Court ruling to have his criminal case heard on a daily basis.
Now to some other stories. And after the only school that served several communities in the area was destroyed by a rainstorm in 2021, the future of hundreds of children in Kedangni Primary School in the northeast Gonja district of the Savannah region continues to be in jeopardy. According to my colleague Christopher Marco, this has had an impact on the student enrollment and attendance in class.
Since its construction in 2004, the structure has not seen any renovations. The situation became worse following a rainstorm that ripped off portions of the block in 2021.
Part of the roof, the office here, the zinc over there was ripped off. And then this year, when the rain set in, the zinc also, the other structure, zinc also ripped off. And during the rainy season, sometimes our classes will not be running because the doors, the windows, the wooden structure were rotten.
This compelled teachers to resort to the multi-grade form of teaching, where lower classes are mixed with higher classes.
We are compelled to do the multi-grade teaching because of the classrooms. During this rainy season, some of the classroom was ripped by the rainstorm. So as a result of that, we have to bring the children together. English, you allow the P4 or P6 to listen if you are teaching P5. And if you are teaching P4, you allow the other two classes to also listen to the lesson.
both enrollment and school attendance has been greatly affected.
It affected our enrollment this year because the last academic year we're having about 255, but currently at this day we are having 214 students in the school. Attendance, that's what this structure hit badly, because today you come, 10 pupils will be at the school, but you compare to teach them. Other time you come, even during the rainy season, I came here and live for more than 3 weeks, and no student came to school.
Residents have turned the place into a smoking joint.
After we close school every day, the grown-ups in the community, they usually come and lodge in the classroom because it's not locking. They will smoke cigarettes, others will smoke weed.
Dreams of the pupils are also being shattered. Several attempts by the head teacher and the school management committee to get the Northeast Gonja District Assembly to re-roof the block yielded no positive results. Ghana's Strategic Education Plan for 2018 to 2030 seeks to improve quality education for all. Pupils in public elementary schools across the country continue to bear the brunt of the infrastructure deficit, which invariably affects academic work. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 4, amongst others, enjoins Ghana to work towards achieving universal basic education by 2030 with relevant learning outcomes. For residents of Kidenyi and the hundreds of children whose education is being affected, renovating the school block will rekindle their educational dreams and aspirations. Until then, the future of these children will continue to hang in the balance for only God knows how long. Christopher Mwako, TV3 News, Kidangi.
Now, the government has been urged to guarantee a realistic, inclusive education that offers everyone an equal opportunity. The director of the New Horizon Foundation for the Blind Center, Eric Ofori, told Robert Abilba that it is discriminatory not to provide special students with the necessary teaching and learning materials.
An estimated 5 million Ghanaians have disabilities, of which 2.8 million have mental disabilities. The World Health Organization and the World Bank say being disabled more than doubles the chance of never enrolling in school. The Inclusive Education Policy outlines the government's long-term plan for educating all children with special needs. The policy is based on the 1992 Constitution, the National Development Agenda, the Education Strategic Plan, and international commitment made by Ghana. The policy is aimed at supporting the education of all children with special educational needs. The framework is to ensure that children who have special needs are taken care of in education and have an equal opportunity to succeed at school. Yet, 8 years down the line, not much has been achieved. The New Horizon Education Center for the Blind in Ho was founded 5 years ago with assistance from the Yipi Church and its German partners to offer accessible education and training for children with visual impairments.
They are not second-class citizens. We are also first-class citizens. So whatever is good for the sighted, in quote, is also good for those of us with this challenge. Discrimination comes when we don't have access, especially in the area of teaching and learning. Some of the teachers don't teach inclusively. Sometimes they are left within the schools. As I speak, most textbooks that have been produced in Ghana, it's not accessible to those with sight limitations.
Mary Day is the center prefect.
There are several challenges facing us as learners in an inclusive setting. Our braille embosser, which is used to emboss textbooks and other supplementaries for us, is not functioning properly. As a result of this, we don't have access to adequate braille books for studies.
The foundation's board chair, Reverend Nueme Adiapena, urged the Ghana Education Service to collaborate with the Ministry of Health to establish regular eye exams for school children.
Because there are children in the room, nobody knows, they cannot see. Mothers of these children need to be empowered economically to enable them support their children.
We're staying a while on education because an agreement to ring-fence the debt of the various independent power producers has been reached. That's according to the Managing Director of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Samuel Dubik Mahama. The IPPs are threatening not to supply power to the national grid from July 1 due to government indebtedness to the power producers. Samuel Dubik Mahama told TV3 that the company has agreed to stay current with its bill payment going forward.
One of the main things that were identified yesterday was the fact that there's been no form of cohesion amongst us. One of the main things that also came out is that there are a lot of issues that one side knows, the other side doesn't know, and so brings about a lot of mistrust in the whole sector. So one of the things we agreed upon was to streamline all of those things, and then we made them an offer about ring fencing the old debt point, and then making sure that moving forward, ECG will stay current on their bills to the IPPs to make sure that there's certainty of payments. One of the big problems the country is facing is the fact that there's no certainty in the amount that people receive, at least IPPs receive in form of payments towards the power they've supplied. Electricity is actually a seasonal business because right now it's the cold season, so purchases are quite low.
Right.
So what you were receiving somewhere in November or December, it will drop drastically. So until we find a flat and good amount that would even it out for all of them, be able to receive something that their lenders can look forward to and say, this is our barest minimum to expect. But it is always a number that could be bettered. There would always be these issues of arrears because in this life, nobody is actually expected to pay off their total debt. In certain parts of the world, we all live on credit. But it depends on how expansive your credit line is. So we just need to come to a proper way of restructuring that line, and that's what we agreed on yesterday. I must be very honest, ECG had made contact with every single independent power producer. We had come up with what we wanted to and how to move forward. But in meeting the chamber as a whole, it finally happened yesterday. But ECG had been talking to each and every single power IPP throughout the whole period. So no, the conversations were going on. And you know, with these things, it can never be one day and you finish. I'll make you an offer, there'll be a counter offer. And the person who's drawn the line in the sand will definitely want to drag it all the way to that day to see if he can get a better deal out of it. We owe the IPPs $2 billion as we speak.
Away from that to some other subjects, and we know that the one-month close season period for fishing began on Friday, July 1, 2023. The season was slated by the Ministry of Fisheries and Agriculture Development in collaboration with the Fisheries Commission to start, and for artisanal and small-scale industrial fishers as well.
Closed season is a period during which fishing is prohibited. It is to give fish a chance to lay eggs to replenish their population, which has declined due to overfishing. The observance of the closed season here in Ghana is in accordance with Section 84 of the Fisheries Act 2002, Act 625. The 2023 fishing closed season is the 7th since the initial implementation in 2015. The closed season period for 2023 starts from the 1st to 31st of July for artisanal canoes and inshore vessels. That of trawlers also starts from the 1st of July to 31st of August 2023. Launching the season, the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Mavis Hawa Kumsin, lauded sector players for their cooperation. According to her, an alternative livelihood training support program will be introduced to support over 1,350 fishermen across the coast during the closed season.
This training will be selected, will be scaled up to cover 8,350 fishers. And after the training, trainees will be supported to set up
to ensure that they can earn incomes from their trade. I take this opportunity to encourage fishers, especially the youths, to embrace this opportunity and enroll in the program.
She noted that security agencies will be deployed to ensure compliance. Some industry players hope the ministry will go beyond the close season and deal with other challenges facing the fishing sector. Omaheng of Edina Traditional Council, Nana Kojo Kundua, called on the ministry to consider establishing a fisheries bank that can support local fishermen with loans to expand their businesses. Globally, closed seasons are used to lessen the impact of fishing on stocks. Closed season fishing is also regarded as one of the most important fisheries management strategies, both for protecting and boosting fish populations.
You're watching Midday Live. We're back with more stories, but after the break. Stay with us.
Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Chesena me ankasa me period na say problems wom ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chesena nya asem ketewa na me coin point no mo hwe me mogam no mo hwe bibia na so mo meduro me fire no ene ma won kra me enu foforo kwa na me kwan mu a eba and everything yourself
me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante and then ko end point o mama nuru a and then ho idea watimi asori anante.
That's end point for you.
Of Acrobato.
Hello.
Hey, ohwehwe what che.
Okay.
A free bra wo di end point wa dance. Am me call you no. Me Jones sema na enkoyie and person na my mre nyina na magina sabema na me be fear for there e ho na nyina jaresa.
You heard everything. I have secret. M-Punch is my secret. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. I'm free.
She doesn't just call herself the biggest female rapper. She says that she's the king of queens and the mother of rap.
Sana mo jene same the better form boko na matina ho na mo be fa me so abaye me nyadewa. Me no bi ahwe me. Ti se bi eni ho obekere na moti o mo bra wan chia na no mo bo me duku na be bekire di point.
What's the reason why you started rap?
In the beginning, I was like, just for the fun of it. And then later, I wanted to prove a point.
Eno Baron. And she joins us on the Day Show this week to tell us all about it. And so look forward to that. But that is not all. Into one hour, I'm going to dress with him. Okay.
And I realized a boy is a pedino.
Ah, no, I'm kind of saying.
Well, I'm just as everybody, I am sorry, but boys, a dini almost there. Obi to me from me, a trash, or Bobby dinner bet 10 times, no, I can't.
Eno Baron, you are rapio, Metrans and they are rapid papa. Na me character, and your basa, and your giddy usia media webra.
Hey, no, hey, no, hey, no, hey, hey, hey. When I say do like this, when I say
The Day Show, Sundays at 3 p.m. on TV3.
This program is sponsored by Onga.
Kitchen Wars.
The most anticipated cooking reality show is making its return to your screen. It is Kitchen Wars Season 2. Old school alumni get ready to compete for yet another epic showdown. Which alumni will take over from WAS?
The school that came in first place, West Africa.
Get your ladles out, sharpen your knives, and be ready to battle it out. Interested alumni must be in a group of 6 to participate. Simply send your details 0531 906 281 to register and stand the chance of being the best alumni in the kitchen. It's Kitchen Wars Season 2. Kitchen Wars, your school feed cook. Kitchen Wars.
Kitchen Wars, coming soon on TV3.
Brought to you by Gino Tomato Mix.
Enapa Foods, say Enapa, Enye Ono Soko.
The fishing industry in Ghana is of prime importance to the economy and the well-being of the people. Sadly, this critical industry faces a hidden threat that threatens its very existence and survival. Join us as we shine our spotlight on the canker of illegal fishing, a practice that has devastated our marine resources, depleting our fish stock, leaving our fishermen with empty nets, fish processors struggling to survive, and our communities in dire straits. We delve into safe fish handling and processing, certification and licensing schemes. We focus our sharp lenses on child labor and trafficking in fishing communities to demand accountability and responsiveness from duty bearers. Join Three Foundations advocacy for Ghana's fisheries recovery through missions compelling and captivating advocacy. Keep an eye out on TV3. This program is under the auspices of the Feed the Future Ghana Fisheries Recovery Activity, funded by USAID, from the American people, live on News 360 and across all Media General social media platforms.
1, 2, and yeah. 6, 8 minus 3, 6, 1, 7, 6, 1 minus 2, 9. That's it? 39 is correct from Adipa. 8 minus 3, 7, 5 minus 9, 8, 5, 5 minus 3 minus 2. That's it?
UC Mars Show Sundays at 2:30 p.m. on TV3.
Ghana coming out again, the same squad. For LeBron, he's got it! Throw it down, King!
Sports Station, Mondays, 9 p.m. on TV3.
Sports Station is brought to you by Betway, Nesta Mouthwash,
Flamingo Paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Now, the improper disposal of waste has been a contributor to flooding in Ghana whenever it rains. In a bid to educate the public on proper disposal and recycling of plastic waste, Bibini Innovations has undertaken an awareness campaign for commercial transport drivers in Accra.
The race to eliminate plastic waste through recycling in Ghana has gained momentum. However, more work needs to be done. Trotro Diaries, a community platform under Bibini Innovations, took to the Circle Bus Terminal to educate drivers, commuters, passengers, and the general public on the disposal and recycling of plastic waste.
Looking at the general behavior and attitude towards littering and all that, that's what we're trying to address. I'm sure anybody that has been on the streets these days sees the floods, the other contributing factors. But one of the key factors that you see as well is that everywhere you see flooded, you see the plastics as well. And so we are hoping that with this kind of education, the message we want to send to other passengers, other commuters and all that, we can also do our part by not littering. Some of these plastics can be recycled.
Some drivers offered their opinions and suggestions.
I'm very grateful they came here today, and I wish it continued. We have had issues with disposing rubbish here, and I advise my colleagues to desist from loitering. We have committed cleaners who are diligent with their job, and dustbins available for the rubbish.
According to the World Economic Forum, Ghana generates approximately 840,000 metric tons of plastic waste per year, and approximately 9.5% of that is collected for recycling. In Accra alone, about 300 metric tons of plastic waste are generated daily.
Now, an estimated 1.56 million children are in child labor in Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. The issue is more prevalent in cocoa growing areas, depriving school-going children of their rights. Deputy Country Director for the International Cocoa Initiative, ICI, Prince Jemfi, says the ICI will assist communities with educational facilities to encourage children to go back to school.
Children in cocoa growing areas are at a greater risk of child labor at different times of the year. There are high school dropout rates coupled with lack of classrooms and libraries in cocoa growing areas. The government recently launched Phase 3 of the National Plan of Action Against Child Labor. The International Cocoa Initiative, ICI, and the TOMS Group, in response to growing calls for children in cocoa growing areas to go back to school, commissioned a 3-unit classroom block and auxiliary facilities at Akwete Krom in the Ascent South district. The Deputy Country Director of the International Cocoa Initiative, Prince Jemfi, said it is poised to reduce child labor in the affected communities.
As we have started, until child labor is eliminated, we are not stopping. And we continue to create awareness, we continue to support the communities, we continue to do things that will help eliminate child labor. Yes, we started some time back, but even the road to the community was very terrible. And bringing raw materials, cement, iron rods, paradox from somewhere to this community has not been an easy task.
Head of Sustainability and Communications at TOMS Group, Leah Holm, also said the partnership would be sustained.
One school building, that's just a very, very small contribution. It alone, it does nothing. We need good teachers, we need farmers to be able to afford that their children are going to school. We need a lot of other things.
Now, over 7,000 residents affected by floods in Nzema East in the Western region have received relief items. A philanthropist, Nana Okobe-Yampam, who went to the rescue of the victims, is calling for more support for the people after the damper.
Multiple homes were submerged in the floodwaters, rendering people homeless in the Nzema East municipality. Over 7,000 residents have been left without food and water, according to the Municipal Assembly, which took delivery of relief and food items for onward supply to the affected victims. A philanthropist, Nana Okobe-Yampam, volunteered to support the flood victims with relief items, including food items worth 100,000 cedis. Spokesperson for Nana Okobe, Emmanuel Mensah, said the plight of the victims demands urgent attention.
Our area of operation extends to this community, so we could not look unconcerned. We are happy to help the communities affected. We hope it will go a long way to sustain them for now.
Meanwhile, 2 assembly members who received the items on behalf of the 15 communities expressed gratitude for the gesture.
We are grateful to Nana Okobe. When the flood occurred, we extended invitation to many people to help, but none came to our aid. Nobody called him to come, but he heard about the incident and decided to help. We are grateful 15 communities were affected.
This is Midday Live. We're going for a break. We'll bring you more stories and sports after this. Stay with us.
When it comes to the world of sports, what does complete mean to you?
When my team scores at the end of a 30-plus passing sequence, just like Pep Guardiola style.
When someone beats the buzzer with a shot from the logo, like Steph Curry.
Dominating opponents and punching my way to a knockout like Africa's greatest boxer, Azuma Nelson.
running so fast that can afford to celebrate midway through a 100-meter race and smash the world record like Usain Bolt.
Hold up, what makes all of these sports complete is the screen. This is where you get access to all the extensive highlights, analysis, and insights.
So do join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. live on 3FM 92.7 as we serve you the best sports buffet and most satisfying in the sports world. The 3 Sports team will come together to review, preview, and analyze the latest in the sports world here on Sports Ultras.
And yeah. 6-8 minus 3, 6-1, 7, 6-1 minus 2, 9. That's it? 39 is correct from Adepa. 8 minus 3, 7, 5 minus 9, 8, 5, 5 minus 3 minus 2. That's it?
UCMA show Sundays at 2:30 p.m. on TV3.
Ready. The 3FM Baby Fair is here.
Parents, make it a family affair with fun photo booths for family shoots, kids arena for the kids to have fun, and so much excitement.
This fair will be a one-stop shop for all childcare products, clothes, toys, child development products, and so much more for every child of every age.
3FM Baby Fair on the 7th July, 8th July, and 9th July 2023 at Marina Mall, Airport City, Accra.
To be a part of the fair and exhibit your products and services as a vendor, please call
0244 405027 right now.
The 3FM Baby Fair, your one-stop shop for all your childcare products. The 3FM Baby Fair is proudly brought to you by Marina Mall. 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
It is said that all drugs are poisons, but the right dose is what differentiates a poison from a remedy. Did you know that globally more than 11.8 million deaths are recorded each year as a result of drug misuse?
Did you also know that most adverse drug events could have been prevented if only you had spoken to your pharmacist?
And are you aware that untreated sexually transmitted infection could lead to infertility in the long term?
Ask Your Pharmacist is the only health show that brings pharmacists to the discussion to educate you on what that drug does to your body and help you better understand the medical condition and that pill before you swallow it.
So join us as we bring you exciting, compelling, and didactic health content every week right here on the station. My name is Peggy.
My name is Asabia.
And I am Kunedu. And we are your hosts.
Ask Your Pharmacist. Stay informed. Stay healthy. Ask Your Pharmacist Season 3 is proudly brought to you by Dragnet, the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana, Let Up Pharmaceuticals, Chango, U School, and the Tema Christian Eye Center.
Ask Your Pharmacist show Sunday at 1 p.m. on TV3.
Good afternoon. It's time for sports here on Midday Live. My name is Kelvin Oswanton. Let's begin from the Under-23 Africa Cup of Nations, and Egypt secured passage into the semi-finals of the competition after a hard-fought 2-0 win over Gabon in a match played at the Ibn Battuta Stadium in Tangier on Saturday night. Mali concluded the group stage with 6 points behind group leaders Egypt after a dominant 2-0 win over Niger.
From Hossem Abdelmajid, but eventually in the 83rd minute, they broke the deadlock. Mahmoud Saber from the edge of the area, the corner struck in low, and they would eventually double their lead. VAR confirming a penalty, which was dispatched by Faisal. 2-0 to Egypt. They will head through to the semi-finals as the winners of Group B. And there, they will look.
It was Mali who would take the lead just after the break. 49 minutes in, the penalty given for the challenge by Jabria. Superbly put away by Mamadou Sangare for his second goal of the tournament. And the goal punch late in the game. Niger pressing for the equaliser they needed to qualify. Mali playing on the counter-attack. Clinical finish from man of the match, Doumbia Chikna. And that was very much that.
So Egypt will play against Guinea in the semi-final, and Morocco would also play against Mali in the second semi-final. Now heading over to boxing, the WBO Africa lightweight champion Sheriff Quay is set to defend his title against Bright Ayala next week, Saturday. The WBO number 15 Quay will be defending the title at the same venue as his last defense, the DAZN Beach Resort at Kolegono in Accra.
Sheriff Quay knocked out Emmanuel Amos on December 10, 2021 at the Golden Beach Resort at Kolegono in Accra to claim the WBO Africa lightweight title. 10 months later, on October 2, 2022, he successfully defended the title with a unanimous decision against Otto Joseph at the DAZN Beach Resort, also at Kolegono in Accra. His second mandatory defense is against experienced and hard-hitting Bright Ayala at the same venue, DAZN Beach Resort at Kolegono. Now ranked number 15 by the WBO, Quay wants to win to enable him to move up again. He is targeting a top 10 ranking and so wants to use the Saturday fight as the decider. But he is aware of the tough challenge in Bright Ayala, who has lost only one of his 18 professional fights and drawn one. Head coach of the Bronx Gym and trainer of Sheriff, Carl Loco, says the boxer is ready for the bout. He would not underrate Ayala, but he expects his boy to perform well to maintain his course. Sheriff Quay has lost 3 of his 26 professional fights and drew 1 with 14 knockouts wins out of his 22 victories.
Now staying with boxing, Jared Anderson went the distance for the first time as he defeated former world champion Charles Martin via a unanimous decision on Saturday evening in front of 7,234 hometown fans in Ohio. The heavyweight athleticism helped him win many early rounds in the 10-round contest, and in the third round he switched to southpaw and dropped Martin with a counter right hook. The 23-year-old knockout artist looked to finish the fight, but the experienced Martin survived. By the fifth, Anderson slowed a bit and managed to hit him with several left hands. He retained his WBO title via unanimous decision.
Came in, he performed hella good, and I think we put on a hell of a great show for Toledo. You know, I wanted to go the distance. It was my first time, and I just wanted to make sure I could go the distance. You know, I had it in me, especially to be able to withstand power the whole 10 rounds. He had power to the last round, you know, so.
Now let's do some cycling, and Britain's Adam Yates paved his own twin brother Simon to claim the opening stage of the Tour de France and also donned the first yellow jersey of this year's race at the end of a 182.5 kilometers loop around Bilbao. Adam got the better of his identical twin to claim his first Grand Tour stage win, while the UAE Emirates team leader Tadej Pogacar finished third, also raising his arm in celebration. Yates, who had set a devilish pace for Pogacar on the brutal climb shortly before the finish, pushed on in the descent to Bilbao, joined by his brother who is riding for the Jayco Alula team and already has 2 Tour de France stage wins to his name.
3,300 metres of climbing. It isn't Tadej Pogacar of UAE.
Crosby.
It's Adam Yates of UAE. Yellow jersey.
Well, that will be all for sports this afternoon here on Midday Live. My name is Kelvin Olson. There's more sports news on 3news.com as well as 3sportsGH across all the socials. Entertainment news up next.
In entertainment news, popular Ghanaian actor Jete Annan is set to release a book on July 8, 2023 to commemorate his 50th birthday. According to the celebrated actor, the book focuses on his professional experiences and personal life over the past 50 years.
Congratulations on your
Thank
book.
you. Thank
We're
you.
in the era of books.
I know. But you know, Yvonne will try because he crossed me.
He crossed you because you announced this
somewhere
when you
last
came here
year. I told her I was going to do this, and I even got a video from her, you know, which I will play, you know, and then Papa the Padika passed me.
Overtaking is allowed.
Pass me, Charlie.
But now it's brought a lot of focus on your book as well, because now people want to see what you have with them.
Yeah, people want to see, people want to know what's next. And
The book is
people
next week, right? That's out next week, your birthday.
That's on the 8th, yeah.
Yeah, your birthday is the 7th.
My birthday is the 7th, but we're doing this on the 8th because it's a Saturday. And so
what is it about?
Basically chronicling my years.
It's a memoir.
Years, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Memoir?
Yeah, it's a memoir.
Yeah? Who you come out from?
I don't call child names. It's small.
What's on page 83 and 95?
You go hard. But I should be some girl be with the disturbing for social media.
You know the book is like. Ajitiana, what is happening?
No, but mostly about me,
journey.
my journey, my flaws. You know, being under the spotlight. Sometimes people think that it's all rosy, but even knowing what to do, what not to do, can become a challenge. And the pressure that we put on ourselves and allow our audience to put on us, you know, you have to really negotiate those things. And I'm putting this out there for the young people out there that look, we're not superhumans, we're not aliens. We make the same flaws that they do.
Same mistakes.
It's just that the spotlight is on us, you know, and so you can't repeat the mistakes that we're repeating. You have to be way better than us, and I'm doing this so that young people would give our industry a brighter future, and it would take us to another level. You know?
Wow, I love that.
So
would there be some part of your history from things we do for love that we don't know that will shock us in that book?
Yeah, there definitely will be some. Shocking, I'm not sure. After, you know, because Yvonne has helped me in a lot of ways, so you can't be shocked anymore. If those who allow themselves to be shocked, they can't be shocked again.
Well, now Ghanaian musician Barbara Na Okele Nyako, famed as Ovi, has announced a comeback to music after a long break. The music reality show winner Ovi told Giovanni Caleb on Showbiz 360 that she had to go on break to recover from depression.
So Ovi, what happened?
I went through a lot, you know. I had to break a bit to heal and to recover from. I was depressed as well, so there are a few things that happened to me. I went through PTSDs. Huh? Yeah, a whole lot. You know, it's been tough. I think that stuff that happened to me, you know, somewhere 2017 when I lost my brother, that I didn't cry all this while. Yeah. You know, something sort of triggered it in a way. Yeah. You know, so I had to heal. I went through so much. I can't say them right now. Today, any day for me. That's right. You understand? I understand. But God is good. I'm here. I'm good. Time. I'm fine. More music, and I'm going to be on camera every now and then. Like,
that's right. So you're back.
Back.
Because you feel the spots in the female dancehall, Afro dancehall space. People feel that, you know, this was it for Ghana. We hear you were even in a room for months.
Yes.
On medication.
I was actually.
Antidepressants.
A lot of them. Yes, my family was like my pillar, you know. See, I think after Hitmaker, I was just focused on music. And so I wasn't really getting in touch with family like that. But, you know, through it all, family was...
most important thing.
Yes, they held me down. You understand? It was just my sister, my big sister, who was around. And at that time, I've said this before, she was pregnant. She was taking care of me, you can imagine. So,
you even went off social media.
Yeah. I couldn't watch TV. What? I couldn't watch a show.
You missed Day Trash too? Or then you were really down?
I never watched one season, Tiff. Never ever watched.
Everyone deserves love. So when you say Day Trash, so
that is why I made that song, because for like 2 years, 2 years.
You have a new one?
Yeah, Party Time, Sadness.
Allah!
reggae make you bring it right back. Every vibe you they feeling like that. The way I do nobody do it like that. Go to my see, make you go.
Let's bring you some international news before we take leave of you. Now, according to the head of the Central Intelligence Agency, the Ukraine war is having a corrosive effect on Vladimir Putin's leadership of Russia. Russian disaffection over the war is providing new opportunities for the CIA to collect intelligence. The agency's director, William Burns, said America's top spy made the comments while delivering the annual lecture at the foundation in the UK. Well, that's our package for you this afternoon, but there's always more news on our website, 3news.com, if you log on for more. My name is Noble Crosby Ann, and on behalf of the entire production team, thank you so much for watching the program. We'll see you again some other time. Enjoy the afternoon. Bye-bye.